Welcome to our next Tuesday tutorial. In this Tuesday tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a product using items in the public domain. So here's a site I want to show you, and then we're going to show you a little bit more about public domain so you understand it before you actually create your first product. This is a website called manybooks.net, and you can search thousands of free books here on this site. And this site's really cool because it also has a list of all the top free books, the most current free books, etc. But what we're looking for are books that are in the public domain. So this says they've got over 100,000 books. You can upload your books here and sell them and give them away as well. But we're not talking about that today. We're talking about strictly public domain. So before we do that, I wanted to take you over to Wikipedia and show you what public domain actually means, because I think there may be some confusion about that for some people. So a public domain are those works whose exclusive intellectual property rights have been expired, have been forfeited, or are inapplicable. For example, the works of Shakespeare and Beethoven and most of the early silent films are now in the public domain by either being created before copyrights existed or by the copyright term actually expiring. So that's important to know. And there's more than just books and movies, there's music. You can read through this whole page on Wikipedia about public domains, and you can read about a lot of the books that are in the public domain. They will take you to some websites, another popular website that I'm going to show you in a minute, that has a list of thousands and thousands of public domain books, so etc. And you mainly want to make sure that the work is free of copyright before you use it to create a book or something for yourself from. So Project Gutenberg is a website that hosts and houses a lot of these free books, and these are all public domain books. They're not protected by any copyright laws because, generally speaking, their copyrights have expired. So instead of taking you here, because I want to show you this website we were just at, which is manybooks.net, shows you all the books, and you can download it in a variety of different formats. So even though you could find the books on Project Gutenberg, you're better off to go to manybooks.net to actually grab the book and download it and use it in whatever way you're planning on using it. So here we're at manybooks.net, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look through genres. So say you wanted to create a book or a giveaway or a lead generation tool of some sort, and you don't have a lot of time, you want to put this page up really quick, and rather than creating something from scratch, you might, if appropriate, go to manybooks.net and look at the different books that they have in their library. So you would pick a genre first, and if you were picking something like computers or politics or something like that, and it was works prior that were not copyrighted, likely the information would be outdated. But you could use it as a reference and say, here's the historical viewpoint or the origins of computers or something like that. So depending on what type of business or field you're in or what your lead generation is going to look like, you would pick the right genre. So I picked cooking as an example. So I clicked on cooking, and I looked through several and found that a lot of them were outdated. But I like this one called Food Remedies, Facts About Food and Their Medicinal Uses. So I clicked on that one because I thought, well, you know what? First of all, I was looking for something small that didn't have a lot of pages. So you can look through each of them, and you can look at the pages, you can look at who authored it, you can look at the publication date, which is also very important, the number of people who downloaded the book. Now, downloads could be people who are doing exactly what we're doing, or it could be people who just wanted to read it. It shows an excerpt of the book. And it'll give reader reviews. So it's pretty interesting. What you want to do is, when you find the book that you think you'd like to use based upon your own criteria, and like I said, I'm using this one, you go into the download area where it says download. You can download this, as you can see, in many, many, many formats. So I'm going to download mine because the easiest way to use this is either an RTF, which rich text format, or as plain text. Plain text takes off all of the formatting, which is good, but it's not good, especially if you wanted to know what still needed to be bolded and highlighted and maybe separating paragraphs, whereas a plain text might not or would not do that. So I'm going to download this as a RTF. It's the easiest for me to use, and you would download it, and then I'm going to show you what I do, and you can download it in any way you want, and you can upload it as a Word document. You can upload it as an open source document, or WordPad, something like that, depending on the word processing program that you're using. I use a Mac, so I'm going to upload it. I'm going to actually download it as an RTF and then upload it right to my Google Docs. So here's the download link. You click on that and it's going to download, and as soon as it's finished downloading, it's pretty quick because it's a small one, I'm going to click open, and I'm going to open the book. So you can see I had it open before. And so you see that this is a book of the Project Gutenberg. You can read anything about it. You may copy, give it away, reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license, including adding your own name. Again, one word of caution: if you're going to use one of these books and add your own name, I would do a few things. First of all, you want to totally edit the book as much as you can. You want to give it a different title, and you want to make sure it's not one of the books that are a historical book that people would recognize the name and the book. Like, for instance, How to Win Friends and Influence People, or some of Napoleon Hill's books. Books that have been written in the early 1900s that are still popular. I would never put my name on them. I might put something like Compliments of, which I'm going to show you that I'm actually not putting my name on this book either. But you're allowed to, because it is in the public domain. My suggestion would be not to put your name on it. You didn't actually author it, even though you can do that. And then you want to go through the entire book, and you're going to want to edit it as much as you can. Use the things that you can use. You're going to want to rewrite a lot of it because it may not be relevant to today. Now, if you're using it as a historical piece, you may not have to edit it as much. But for instance, this book, even though it's for medicinal uses, and here it says indexes, I'm going to change that to just part 3, index. I'm going to change a few things to be more modern in terms of the verbiage that we use today. This is Old English, so it's going to be a Z instead of an S. But if you were in England or you were in Europe, you would use the S instead of the Z. So there are a few things that I'm going to have to change in order to make this workable for what I have in mind. So you can read through it, and since it's only 54 pages, which is the other reason I suggested a smaller document to begin with, it won't be as difficult to edit. And you can probably do this in an afternoon. Certainly would be a lot quicker than writing something. And you could use it as a lead generation. So then what I did was that I copied the title, and I went over to my Google Docs, and let me show you, well, I went to Google Docs and I just created a blank document, and I actually changed the title to Nature's Remedies, Food and Their Medicinal Uses. Now, and then I put, instead of my name, I'm putting compliments of, and I'm going to give it away maybe as a free thing or a lead generation on my magazine site. So the other thing you're going to want to do is when you change the title of a document that you choose to give away from the public domain, is go and do a search of the title and make sure that it is not something that's being used by a lot of other people. So I would go to Amazon, I went to Google, and a lot of people are using the word Nature's Remedy in their websites. So we're not going to want to do that. But here's one that says Nature's Remedies on Amazon. So I'm going to click on that, and here it shows supplements. So now I'm going to look under Nature's Remedies under books. Type in books and see if there's any books with the title Nature's Remedies. Now that doesn't, just because it didn't come up doesn't mean that there are no books under that title. And I'm on Amazon.uk, so let me go to Amazon.com and type in the word Nature's Remedies. Because if you were going to give it a new title, as I mentioned, I wanted to give it a new title. I'm going to go to books, and I'm going to click on search, Nature's Remedies. Okay, so herbal remedies from nature, natural antibiotics, etc. So it doesn't really, it says Nature's Best Remedies. Okay, that's fine. It's not exact name, so you can use the title. And here's the book, Early History and Use of Botanic Drugs as Revealed in the Legends and Anecdotes of Ancient Times. So this was published in 1934. So that's probably a book that's in the public domain as well. So you can use the title because it's going to have a different subtitle. So it's not the exact title. You don't ever want to try to pick one with the exact same title, even though book titles are generally, not always, but generally not copyrightable. And when they're not copyrightable as I was saying a moment ago, is when they're a series. So for instance, Chicken Soup for the Soul. No one else could use that title because they've used it more than once as a series. So that would be considered a copyrightable title. So it looks as though Nature's Remedies is a good title for me to use, and so I'm going to use that. And then I would do a little bit more search to make sure that it was a good title. Once you're confident that the title is good and that it's in the public domain and it's good to use, then you can go ahead and start creating your book. And again, like I said, I create mine in Google Docs. You can use it in a Word document, and then I just copy and paste and reformat. And then once you're finished with the formatting, let me just find the text document. So I would go like this, and I would just copy and paste the entire book into my Google Docs. You can do it again through a Word document, through another open source word processing system, whatever you normally use. There's a lot of them now. But you want to make sure that whatever you do use, that you use something that you can download as a PDF. And you want to create a title, you want to create the cover, and then you can use this as a lead generation. And at some point I'm going to do an actual video on how to create a lead generation page so that you can actually start getting leads and building your database. So it's almost finished copying. And I'm going to copy it, and then I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to paste it right here on this page. And this will show you how many pages you probably have as well. Okay, so it came up with 58 pages. Now I'm going to do a lot, but you can see that there's quite a bit of information in here about Project Gutenberg, etc., etc. You may want to remove some of that. Be sure and read all of that though before, so that you'll know that the book is actually able to be used, and it should be. It's the full, because it gives you the full license information, and maybe save that somewhere in your file. When you're finished, then you can go over here and you can download, if you are using Google Docs, which I love because then I can find them and I can edit them, and I love being able to update as I go without having to completely save things over and over again. So this is saved automatically. So then I could go in here and I could download the PDF document, and then I have a beautiful PDF document to now use in whatever way I had intended to create this. So this is how you create a product from the public domain. Again, this is your Tuesday tutorial for this week, and next week we'll be talking about something else. And this is Compliments of Women in E-Commerce. Have a great day.